What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So the season is not officially over yet. There's still a few matches left, but Barcelona La Liga champs nonetheless. But there's already a couple rumors going around about transfers and a certain player in the team. I just read some stuff, and this player had some stuff to say about if this transfer were to happen. So I want to jump in and talk about what I would do if I was Barcelona and what would happen if this transpired. And as always, if you guys enjoy the video, don't forget to drop me a like or subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoy the content. And of course, as always, definitely comment your thoughts and opinions about this down below. Now let's jump in. The person in question from Barcelona is Raphinha. So there have been rumors in the Twitter sphere and other sources that Barcelona could still be somewhat intrigued and interested in Rafael Leão. Now, I honestly haven't heard as much about Nico Williams, and side note, I really haven't heard anything about Nico Williams in terms of his play, his success at all with Athletic this season. He was coming off an unbelievable Euro performance with Spain, and obviously there were tons of rumors. Seemed like he was close at times to joining Barcelona. Still really don't understand the exact reason why that didn't happen, but nonetheless, it worked out the best, especially for Raphinha. But what I want to talk about is Raphinha apparently had some words, and apparently there were reports that said from Raphinha, if Barcelona were to bring in a player like Leao, that he would be questioning his future. Now, I would actually at this point take that as an insult if I was Raphinha, because if I am Barcelona, and this is just my opinion, let me know if you agree or if you disagree. But if I'm Barcelona, next year, Raphinha is my captain. Okay? It's not Araujo and it's not Frankie de Jong. It's Raphinha, because not only he's been at the club for what, 2, 3, this would be, I think next year would be his 4th season. He's having a Ballon d'Or caliber season. He would live and die for that Barcelona badge. And he and Pedri are the two players that consistently go above and beyond. And where him and Pedri, their work rates are incredible. They don't stop, and they elevate the team and they motivate the team. And I know those two are a huge reason why Barcelona has been so successful coming back when they've been losing in matches this season. They don't quit. And you cannot, I understand Leao and Nico, and there's some other wingers that could be in question. They're younger than Raphinha. Raphinha's what, 27, going to be 28. I still think the way that he's playing, if I'm Barcelona, maybe not retire him at the club. I don't know how long he's going to be at this level, but Raphinha for the next 2-3 years, I think should be Barcelona's main guy. Now, I think it would be pretty, I'm not going to say disrespectful, but it'd be pretty shocking to bring in another left winger, because if they were to do that, hypothetically bring in Rafael Leão or they brought in Nico Williams. Again, those are two players where they're very good and very talented. They shouldn't be on the bench. The only way I could ever see this actually working is if Barcelona alters their formation to a 4-4-2 and Raphinha is playing up top and Leao or Nico Williams is playing as an actual left winger. But the thing is, nobody plays 4-4-2 like that anymore, really. So in Barcelona, it's ingrained in their DNA that for I don't even know how long, they're not switching out of the 4-3-3. They're just not going to do that. So I would be very, very surprised if they were to pull the trigger. Again, there's still, at this point, I don't even know what's going on with Barcelona's financial situation, because I always hear, oh yeah, the Nike deal, the Spotify deal, this and this and this, and then the new stadium's going to be ready and they're going to generate more revenue from this. And it's like, I just don't know what to believe anymore. So until we can actually see that Barcelona is able to make signings without financial issues, it's hard to really gauge what they can do, because typically financially they have been strapped the last few seasons. So I would be shocked if they did that, because there's so many other spots where Barcelona actually has to pay attention to. And that's replacing Lewandowski, finding another center back, potentially Jonathan Tah, and finding an outside back, preferably a right back, because Gerard Martin really isn't a great defender, but he's good enough, I think, and attacking-wise, he's pretty good, where backing up Balde, I think it's fine for the time being. And I think he can develop and work on his defending, so it could be a little better. But those are the 3 priorities for Barcelona. And then I think if you're able to, I wouldn't even sign a left winger. At this point, I would go for someone like Florian Wirtz. He's versatile. He can play in the center mid. He can play as a cam. He can play as a false 9. He can play as a winger. but you also have Dani Olmo. So I don't know what their long-term plans are with him. I know they signed a 5-6 year contract with him, but he makes me nervous with his inconsistency and his injury prone. He's just injury prone. So I think the center back, right back, striker, that's all Barcelona really needs to focus on, because if we're being honest, even if Raphinha gets hurt or if there's he just needs some rest, you can always play Fermin there. You can play Gavi there. You can play Ferran Torres there. And then I guess I would get rid of Ansu Fati, but you still have him as a last resort if you needed to play somebody there. So I think you definitely have some options, but I think it is disrespectful to an extent if they were to sign a player like that. Raphinha is a massive reason why Barcelona had all this success this year, and it would just be a slap in the face to bring somebody in like that. And at that point, like, I just don't know how they would make it work, because Raphinha is too good to sit on the bench, and Leao is too good to sit on a bench, and Nico Williams is too good to sit on the bench. But I do know for sure, I don't think Leao and Nico Williams would be as nearly as expensive as they were last season. Nico Williams, I would say, honestly, you could probably get him for 50, 60 million, hopefully less. And then Leao, they wanted what, like 180 last season? There's no way he's going for that. I would say max would be like 140. And I wouldn't even pay that if I was Barcelona, even if you had the cash. So I get where Raphinha is coming from, and I would feel the same way. But I really think Barcelona needs to focus their attention for sure on replacing Lewandowski, because as we're seeing, look, I get there's, injuries and he's a little older, but I just find it so interesting that a lot of people in the comments, whenever I criticize Lewandowski, they're so quick to jump to conclusions and kind of, you don't agree with me. But what I don't understand is, what does he actually do that makes him a good footballer now? Like, he doesn't hustle. He doesn't work hard. His movement's not as great. He doesn't even shoot when he gets the ball outside of the box. He's only scoring penalties on a corner or like tap-ins right inside the box. And to be completely honest, Ferran Torres can do the same exact thing, but he's going to give you more because he's way more elusive, quicker, he's faster, and he works harder. So in my eyes, Lewandowski, I can't say he's useless, because yes, he scores, but again, any decent footballer, striker in this system is going to score you at least 20 goals this season, in any season really. So with this team, so I have been a big fan of Lewandowski. I just don't see it anymore, and I think it's a waste on the payroll. I try to find a way, honestly, to weasel him out at the end of the season. I just don't see any need for him moving forward. If they can't sign a striker, then fine, keep him. But I would honestly swap him and rotate them pretty equally with Ferran Torres, if I'm being completely honest, because I like what I see from Torres, and he's shown in some pretty big moments in El Clasico against Dortmund. He's shown that he can score, and we can rely on him to an extent. So I think it's worth consideration. That's all I'll say. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this down below. What are your thoughts about Ferran Torres and Lewandowski, and should Barcelona keep these two and rotate them pretty equally for next season? For some reason, I just feel like Lewandowski will still be the main striker next season, which I'm not on board with. But let me know who you guys would like to see Barcelona replace him with. And then, I guess more importantly, because the main topic of the video was Raphinha, what would you do if you were Raphinha and Barcelona signed a real left winger like Leao or Nico Williams? And do you think that Barcelona would even consider doing that? And what are your priorities if you're Barcelona? What are the main priorities going into next season? Would love to hear what you guys have to say. See you guys back here next time. Peace.